How do you even begin to tell the story of a fraternity that's been around for centuries? Well, sometimes the best way is to zoom in, to focus on one small group in one small town. Today, we're going to do just that. We're looking at the story of DeWitt Lodge No. 84 in Clinton, Illinois, because their story is really the story of Freemasonry itself, a story of building.
All right, let's start right here, because this quote, it gets to the absolute heart of everything. The entire point of being a Mason isn't about thinking you're better than other people. Not at all. It's about personal growth. It's about building your own character, your own integrity. It's about becoming a better you. Let's keep that idea in our back pocket as we see how it all unfolded.
So starting with that big idea, let's pull the camera back. How did Freemasonry even get its start in Illinois? Well, it turns out its roots in the state are older than the state itself. Just look at this timeline for a second. The very first lodge shows up in 1805. That's a full 13 years before Illinois even became a state. By 1840, enough lodges had popped up that they formed the Grand Lodge of Illinois to create one big unified organization. So this wasn't some new fad. Masonry was part of the DNA of Illinois from the very beginning. Okay, so now let's get to our main story. About a decade after the Grand Lodge was formed, in this little growing town called Clinton, a new chapter was about to be written. A few local guys decided it was time to build a lodge they could call their own.
And here's the date it all became official, October 8, 1850. DeWitt Lodge No. 84 was officially chartered. It was really born from this desire to bring those core Masonic principles right into the heart of their own community.
And these were the men who laid the foundation. Evan Richards, a guy so respected he was later named a trustee when the town was officially incorporated. You had John Warner, whose family would become instrumental in shaping Clinton, and William S. Bates. These weren't just names on a piece of paper, they were the pillars holding up this new lodge.
And check this out. This is the cover of their 100th anniversary booklet from 1950. It's a real, physical piece of their history, a direct link back to those early days. But that century of perseverance it represents, well, it was about to be tested in the most dramatic way you can imagine.
For any new organization, those first few years are always a little fragile, right? Well, for DeWitt Lodge, that fragility was about to meet a total catastrophe, one that threatened to just wipe them off the map completely. In January of 1858, a massive fire just ripped through downtown Clinton. It was a devastating blow for the entire community, but for the young Masonic Lodge, it was a full-blown existential crisis.
Now, I want you to really let this sink in. The fire didn't just damage their meeting place, it destroyed everything. Their original charter, the one document that gave them the right to even exist, was gone. All their records, their meeting minutes, their entire history, all of it just turned to ash. On paper, DeWitt Lodge No. 84 had literally ceased to exist.
But see, a lodge isn't made of paper and ink. It's made of the bonds between people, and the Masons of Clinton absolutely refused to let their brotherhood die in those flames.
So, just a little over a year later, on June 22, 1859, the Grand Lodge of Illinois issued a special new charter. And this wasn't just a replacement copy. No, it was a recognition of their unbreakable spirit. The lodge was reborn, its foundation now literally forged in fire. So now, having rebuilt themselves from the inside out, the members of DeWitt Lodge turned their focus outward. They started a whole new phase, one dedicated not just to improving themselves, but to actively building up the community all around them. First, they built a permanent home. In 1873, they put up the Masonic Temple. This wasn't just another building. It was a statement. It was a symbol of their permanence, and it became the hub for decades of service to the city. And here's where those founding names start to echo through time. Remember John Warner, one of the first officers? Well, his son, Vespasian, followed in his father's footsteps and donated the John Warner Hospital to the city, an absolutely vital institution that still carries that family name. And that spirit of giving just kept on going. Another prominent member of the lodge, Brother A.V. Woodward, left an incredible gift to the city in his will, the Woodward Memorial Park and a memorial fountain. You see, these weren't just random acts of charity. This was Masons turning their beliefs into real, lasting public works. That tradition of leadership and service didn't just stop in the 1800s. Not even close. You can trace that legacy all the way to the present day and see how that foundation supports the lodge right now. I mean, just look at this continuity. You can draw a straight line from founders like Richards and Warner to modern-day leaders like Mark A. Cagle, who served as the Grand Commander for all the Knights Templar in Illinois, and the late William Sam Dwyer, a past master who basically dedicated his life to serving. The leadership just continues, generation after generation. So what does this all add up to? Based on this story, what is a Mason? Well, it's a man who's focused on becoming a better version of himself. It's a friend who builds bonds so strong they can survive a catastrophic fire. And it's a citizen who takes those personal values and turns them into real, tangible actions that help everybody.
You see, the story of DeWitt Lodge isn't just a history lesson. It's really a blueprint, and it's a call to action that's just as powerful today as it was all the way back in 1850.
The whole Masonic path really boils down to these two simple, powerful steps. First, you look inward. You work on your own character, your knowledge, your integrity. You build a better you. And then you turn that strength outward to build a better community and a better world.
And that leaves us all with one final and pretty important question. The members of DeWitt Lodge built a fraternity, a hospital, a park. They built a legacy. Looking at your own life, your own community, what will you build? If this story has sparked something in you, and you want to learn more about the path of Freemasonry in Illinois, or maybe even get in touch with DeWitt Lodge directly, here's all the information you need. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.